Trinity B1, the GESE English exam. Today, I want to talk about two pronunciation errors that I hear. Two, but they're easy to fix. Stay with me. Today, I want to talk about pronunciation mistakes in ED and S word endings. Here's a preview of what I want to talk about. So here's the exams question. Have you recently celebrated any special occasions, like a birthday, graduation, or anniversary? Have you recently celebrated any special occasions? Read my answer first before I read it. It should sound like, yes, I celebrated my oldest daughter's birthday last month. Yes, I celebrated my oldest daughter's birthday last month. What I hear sometimes is people drop the ED, or they say it a little bit too softly that we don't hear it as examiners, and that's a problem because then we think you're using the wrong tense. And it's not a pronunciation error as much as it's a grammar error. Because present tense, I celebrate the 4th of July every year. I celebrate my daughter's birthday with a picnic every summer. Present tense, I celebrate. But here, I want to talk about past tense. Have you celebrated? Yes, I celebrated. So repeat, celebrated, celebrated. Error number 2 I will talk about today. Question. Does your husband work on Saturdays? Does your husband work on Saturdays? Try my answer. Yes, he works on Saturdays, but he doesn't work on Mondays. Yes, he works on Saturdays, but he doesn't work on Mondays. Sometimes I hear people lose that S, especially if you are from Asia, China, Cambodia, Thailand. You lose the S. And what examiners hear is, yes, he work on Saturday. And that becomes a grammar error because it sounds like you're saying present tense or you're saying the wrong person. Like, I work on Saturdays. That's correct. I work on Saturdays. But he works on Saturdays. He works on Saturdays. We need the S. So let's go back to this ED ending. And how do we fix this? Have you ever watched a series on Netflix? Yes, I have watched The Queen's Gambit. I enjoyed it a lot. Yes, I have watched The Queen's Gambit. I enjoyed it a lot. Watched. Watched. Enjoyed. Enjoyed. That's what makes English so difficult. We have different pronunciations for the same ED ending. But here's the secret. Here's how it works. When something ends in a D or T sound, we add an id ending for the ED. So, for example, weighted. We pronounce it like two pieces, weighted, weighted. And we put the T on this side, waited. I waited. I waited 2 hours for the bus. I waited for him to call me last night. Another example, sorted. Have you sorted your holiday yet? Yeah, we sorted it last night. Ending number 2. We pronounce the ED like a T, like watched. And its soft sounds or its other consonants which are not D or T sounds. Let's look. We have watched. And we pronounce it like this, watched, watched. Same thing, laughed, laughed. So those are our soft sounds. And then when we have another hard sound like packed, packed. I often hear people from Europe, Germany, Poland, they say packed. We can't do it. I know other languages you pronounce every single syllable as you see it, but in English, we turn this into a T sound. Packed. Was the concert busy last night? Oh, the stadium was packed. It was so crowded. I left early. Have you packed for your holiday yet? Oh, yes, I packed my bags last night at the airport. Have you packed all your own bags? Have they ever left your sight? Yes, I packed all my own bags. Last one, we say the ED like a D sound, and it's often when we don't have a sound at the end of a word, so a missing sound. Example, played. We pronounce it like a D. What did your son do yesterday when you were at work? Oh, he played with his brother. Did you ever learn an instrument when you were younger? Yes, I played the piano. Also loved. Have you ever loved and lost? Loved. I loved that book. It was so interesting. Let's go now to S endings in present tense. I hear this a lot with Asia students. Does your wife take the bus to work? Does your wife take the bus to work? How do you say this one? Yes, she takes the bus to work every day. She takes the bus to work every day. I hear the mistake that we lose the S, and it sounds like, yes, she take the bus to work, which is a mistake. Then it's a pronunciation mistake. It's a grammar mistake. We need to make sure it sounds like she takes. She takes the bus to work every day. How about this one? She works at a school. She works at a school. How do you say this one? She teaches children. She teaches children. So we have the two syllables on that one. She teaches children. This one. She coaches the girls' football team. She coaches the girls' football team. So how do you practice this to make sure that you sound really good? And maybe if you have kids who have grown up in the UK, or maybe if you have good work colleagues or friends, and you ask them, please correct me, they will correct you. But the problem is sometimes our friends, our family, they're very nice and they don't want to insult us, even though it would help us. They don't want to hurt our feelings, and I understand that. One thing I recommend to students is if you use TikTok, I use TikTok. I am a dinosaur who uses TikTok for English teaching. Go to TikTok and record a video. You don't have to post it, don't worry. But go to TikTok, record a video, and put on captions. Why? TikTok's English captions are really good. I always look at what it does to my voice. I always look at captions because I want to make sure when I speak that I am speaking clearly so that students understand me. When you speak, TikTok will put the captions of what it hears, and it's really helpful because if you think you are saying the sentence correctly in a certain way, TikTok might hear it differently. And you don't have to use TikTok. You could use any application that does a similar function that transcribes or puts captions for your words. It's extremely helpful if you're by yourself and you want to practice. The second thing you can do is called shadowing. It's when you watch something on television or on your phone or on your computer and you pause it and then you repeat exactly what the speaker said and try to sound exactly like them. It's very helpful. Sometimes, though, you're not going to get these sounds like worked or works. You might not get the sentences you want, but in general, it's very helpful to improve your pronunciation. The last thing I want you to remember that on this exam, pronunciation is one of the 4 grading criteria. However, the examiner is not judging you against native speakers. Sometimes people say, oh, but I don't speak English very well. My English sounds terrible. They're not looking for that, but they are looking to make sure that you speak at a B1 or above level, and that means not making those mistakes in present tense. Work, works, celebrate, celebrated. So they are looking for that level of understanding. Another thing I have noticed when students online come to me and say, oh, I failed the exam, or oh, I passed the exam, this is my report. Generally, pronunciation by itself as a problem, so as a checkbox on the examiner report, it doesn't happen so much. Students generally will not fail the exam just on pronunciation. It's going to be pronunciation plus grammar plus communicative plus something plus something. It's not pronunciation by itself. So it's something to keep in mind. So pronunciation is something to help you. It's something to take your exam level up. Keep studying, keep learning English.